everyone, and welcome to the last video of the year. Unfortunately, it's probably also going to be the shortest video that I put out this month, but it's an idea that I've had for a while, and I just kind of it's probably the video I most want your opinions on, more than any of the others, because this was one that takes more effort, but it's something that I would really like to do, especially because I talk a lot about people making poor arguments or changing arguments or stuff kind of adjacent to the hierarchy of disagreement that we're about to get into. Uh, and I think the analysis and looking at it through the lens of fat acceptance would be something informative for all of us, I think, me included, because I'm kind of getting more into the nitty-gritty than I ever have before with this subject. So I would really like to hear your opinions. I will say this one is unfortunately not the best example because I wanted to start at the bottom of the pyramid, and there's not a huge amount of examples for this, but we'll get into that. So for today, we are starting off with a series that I'm hoping to do semi-regularly, maybe once a month, once every 2 months, once a season, something along that line. And it's on Graham's hierarchy of disagreement and how FAs engage in this hierarchy. So this is what the hierarchy of disagreement looks like. We first have name calling, followed by ad hominem attacks, responding to tone, contradiction, counter-argument, refutation, and finally refuting the central point. And the one that we're looking at today is name calling. So just for a general overview of what this is, the hierarchy highlights 7 common strategies of argumentation and puts them in order of quality. The lowest form of argument is name calling, which is what we will be covering today, and the highest is refutation of the central point. Name calling. So name calling is pretty self-evident in how it presents. It, of course, does nothing for refusing the argument or even addressing any relevant points. All it does is degrade the opposition. Something worth noting is that in order for an argument to fall into this category, it has to only feature name calling, which is why I found finding examples of this so difficult, because FAs traditionally engage a lot in argumentation and they will throw name calling in there, but it's really the only thing that they do. Far more often, I see, for me, the one that seems the most prevalent to me is ad hominem attacks, which is what we'll cover next time. If I continue this, I'd like to, but I want opinions. But because in order for this to be categorized as simply name calling, it has to be one of the only things that they do. And they do engage in name calling some, but it's almost always followed up with either an ad hominem attack, responding to tone, or sometimes what was the contradiction. Those seem to be the more common methods of argumentation that I've seen from fat acceptance people. Name calling is in there, but I would say it's not even as prevalent as ad hominem attacks. If someone uses name calling but then moves on to responding to tone, then the form of argumentation would be more focused on responding to tone and not the name calling itself. As a result, this isn't a form of argumentation that I've found much in either FA or anti-FA communities. I forgot I was also going to focus some on seeing how anti-FAs like myself respond to the fat acceptance community as a way to also kind of raise the base level expectation that we have from our community, because I don't want us to fall into just making jabs, ad hominem attacks, name calling, responding to tone, contradiction. I would like us to try to remain in a higher level of disagreement rather than going down to the most base form of disagreement. That's not to say there is high quality argumentation, but it is higher than this. I really struggled to find examples of strictly name calling in the FA community, and I do have 2 very small examples from Marissa, but they are, even then, are just kind of quasi examples. They're not exemplary examples that I would like to give, but this was the best that I could find. This is our first example, and part of the reason why it's not the best example is because this is actually part of a series of videos that she did in which she was going back and forth with this person. It was a very petty argument all the way around. This person isn't engaging in high levels of discourse either. But this is an example of just throwing out name calling instead of referring to the point, even though this we're getting further into the argument here and it's not the best example. So the commenter says, it's alone, not alone. Calm down, I ain't mad at ya.
Aw, so now you're being ableist and correcting my spelling? Wow, good for you.
So she's just being sarcastic here. She does call him ableist, which is kind of like name calling, but now that I listen to it again, it might even be more ad hominem because it is focusing on the character of the person, not what the person is saying. But calling them ableist is also a little bit of just name calling, but not the kind of name calling that Graham's hierarchy typically um, highlights. They highlight things like idiot and asshat and that sort of thing. Our other example is part of a dance, so she's not even saying anything here. She's using a sound, but the sound is close to name calling. So I figured I would present this as well.
You're stupid.
That's all it is over and over again. You're stupid, you're stupid, stupid, stupid. The caption she has says me when someone comments on another person's body. So the thing is, the issue with this one is that she is just name calling, she's calling them stupid. But there is no central point that she can directly refuse either. Because this is a very generic situation that can have multitudes of implications within it, so it would be impossible for her to refute a central point of such a vague circumstance. Also, given the fact that she constructed this circumstance herself, which would automatically make it to where she's not really engaging in a discussion or a disagreement to begin with. But calling someone stupid would be name calling. But in general, I don't see it. I mean, FSB has referred to YouTubers that cover fat acceptance as idiots, but then they went on to say other shit, mostly responding to tone and just contradictions. But that is something that I've seen when grouped with other forms of argumentation, but it rarely just stands alone. Rarely does FA creators just respond with "You're a moron, you're an idiot." I'm sure it has happened. I could not find anything within the past year of the different people that we've covered that falls directly into that category. Ad hominem attacks tend to be far more prevalent, but I just want to give you guys an idea of what this series would look like. And I wanted to start at the base level. I wanted to start at the lowest level, which is name calling. So let me know what you thought. Is this something that I should do in the future? How often would you want to see it? That sort of thing. I'm very curious about your views and your opinions on this. Please let me know in the comments. And I just want to say I hope everyone enjoyed this month of videos. It was a lot harder than I thought it would be, but I'm so glad I was able to finish it and get everything out and get it to you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you for getting this channel to 3,000 subscribers. I really appreciate all of you. I hope you have a wonderful new year. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you next time.